Children, come back to online classes. Today we are going to see civics chapter 3, that is electoral politics. Let us see the overview of this chapter. In the previous chapter we have seen that in a democracy it is neither possible nor necessary for people to govern directly. The most common form of democracy in our times is for the people to govern through their representatives. So, in this chapter, we will look at how these representatives are elected. We begin by understanding why elections are necessary and useful in a democracy. We try to understand how electoral competition among parties serves the people. We then go on to ask what makes an election democratic. The basic idea here is to distinguish democratic election from non-democratic election. That is difference between democratic election and non-democratic election. The rest of the chapter tries to assess elections in India in the light of the yardstick. We take a look at each state of election, from the drawing of boundaries of different constituencies to the declaration of results. At each stage, we ask what should happen and what does happen in election. Towards the end of the chapter, we turn to an assessment of whether elections in India are free and fair. Here, we also examine the role of the Election Commission in ensuring free and fair election. Elections, Assembly elections in Haryana. This newspaper report is about the State Assembly election in Haryana in 1987. The state has been ruled by a Congress party led government since 1982. Chaudhry Devi Lal, then an opposition leader, led a movement called Nyaya Yuddha, struggle for justice, and formed a new party called Lok Dal. His party joined other opposition parties to form a front against the Congress in the election. In the election campaign, Devi Lal said that if his party won the election, government would waive the loans of farmers and small businessmen. He promised that this would be the first action of his government. So Devilal said that if he wins the election, his government is going to waive the loans of farmers and small businessmen. The people were unhappy with the existing government. They were also attracted by Devilal's promise. So, when elections were held, they voted overwhelmingly in favor of Lokdal and its allies. Lokdal and its partners won 76 out of 90 seats in the state assembly. Lokdal alone won 60 seats and thus had a clear majority in the assembly. The Congress could win only 5 seats. So, once the election results were announced, the sitting chief minister resigned. The new elected member of Legislative Assembly, MLAs of Lokdal, chose Devi Lal as their leader. The governor invited Devi Lal to be the new chief minister. 3 days after the election results were declared, he became the chief minister. So, as soon as he became the chief minister, he fulfilled his promise. His government issued a government order waiving the outstanding loans of small farmers, agricultural laborers, and small businessmen. His party ruled the state for 4 years. The next elections were held in 1991, but this time his party did not win popular support. The Congress won the election and formed the government. Now, let us see, why do we need elections? Elections take place regularly in any democracy. There are more than 100 countries in the world in which elections takes place to choose people's representatives. We also read that elections are held in many countries that are not democratic. But why do we need elections actually? Let us try to imagine the democracy without elections. A rule of the people is possible without any election if all the people can sit together every day and take all the decision. But as we have already seen in chapter 1, this is not possible in any large community, nor it is possible for everyone to have the time and knowledge to take decision on all matters. Therefore, in most democracies, people rule through their representatives. So children, you all have understood that it is not possible for all the people to sit together every day and take all the decisions. That's why that is why they elect a person through which through their representatives they elect their representatives to work on behalf of the people. Is there a democratic way of selecting representative without elections? Let us think of a place where representatives are selected on the basis of age and experience, or a place where they are chosen on the basis of education or knowledge. There could be some difficulty in deciding on who is more experienced or knowledgeable. But let us say the people can resolve these difficulties. Clearly, such a place does not require elections. But can we call this place a democracy? How do we find out if the people like their representatives or not? How do we ensure that these representatives rule as per the wishes of the people? How to make sure that those who the people don't like do not remain their representatives? This requires a mechanism by which people can choose their representatives at regular interval and change them if they wish to do so. This mechanism is called election. So children, you have understood that what is elections actually. Elections Elections are the mechanism by which people can choose their representative at regular intervals and change them if they wish to do so. So this mechanism is called elections. Therefore, elections are considered essential in our times for any representative democracy. In an election, the voters make many choices. They can choose who will make laws for them. They can choose who will form the government and take major decisions. They can choose the party whose policies will guide the government and law making.